In the day and time in which we live, there's a lot of news, and sometimes when we get that news, boy, sometimes it's exciting, but sometimes it's devastating, and it's scary, and it crushes us. Sometimes it's real news, and sometimes it's predictions. And you and I, we live in this world, and we need to figure out how to deal with that. And there's a great passage in the book of Mark, chapter 5, where I think we can learn a little bit about dealing with the news that we hear as we go throughout our day. The story is of Jesus and a man named Jairus. And it says in verse 22, "Behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet, and besought him greatly, saying, My little daughter lieth at the point of death. I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. And Jesus went with him, and much people followed him and thronged him." Now, think about how excited Jairus is at this point in time. His daughter is in a desperate situation, but he's made it to Jesus. He's got in touch with him, and now he has asked Jesus to come to his house, and Jesus is going with him. And so there's this huge crowd of people, and here they go. Well, in the process of making it from where he found Jesus to his house, this woman touches Jesus' garment, and she is healed of this disease or this ailment that she's had for a long period of time. And when it happens, Jesus stops and he begins to have this short interaction with her. At that very moment, Jairus gets some news. It says in verse 35, "While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, Thy daughter is dead, why troublest thou the master any further?" Think about the emotional roller coaster that Jairus is on. He's in this desperate situation. He finds Jesus and he asks him to come and help. And Jesus agrees. And so here they go. And the hope that builds within him and the excitement. Oh, we've just got to make it to the house. Jesus can help. He can heal her. And then the delay. And it probably wasn't a very long delay, but it was a delay nonetheless. And then this devastating news that there's no need to continue to bring Jesus to his house. There's no need to bother the man because she's dead. And the just crushing weight of this news that hits Jairus. Now Jesus tells him in the next verse, magnificent passage of Scripture, verse 36. "As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe." Now that's the way we need to handle news. Any news, all news, when we get news, we need to handle it the way Jesus said there. Be not afraid, only believe. You see, we're talking about dealing with Jesus here. Now, if you don't know Jesus, you're probably going to continue to be afraid when you hear bad news. But if you do know Jesus, one of the things you need to know is that he has always got a plan. He is always at work. And so he doesn't want us to live our lives in fear. He wants us to live our lives in faith. He wants us to live our lives trusting in him. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7 says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Jesus doesn't want us to live in fear. He doesn't want us to react in fear to the news that we encounter. He wants us to react in faith, to trust in him, to go to him in prayer, to go to him in the hope that he can do something and that he will do something. He's going to raise this girl from the dead. That's his plan. Now, Jairus doesn't know that. But Jesus says, I don't want you to be afraid of this news that you've heard. I want you to trust in the one who can do anything. And I want to encourage you today. Let's do the same. Let's not be afraid. Let's believe. God bless you. Have a great day.